Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Samadhiṃ bhikkhave bhata. Monks, develop samadhi. Samadhi is a synonym for jhana. Jhana or samadhi simply means concentration. There are synonyms such as calmness, tranquility, undistractedness of mind, collectedness of mind, unification, or as I said yesterday, the state of imperturbed mind, imperturbability. Without samadhi, no vipassana, no insight. Without insight, no entering the path as a stream enterer. If there is no stream enterer, no once returner. If there is no once returner, no non-returner. If there is no non-returner, no arahant, the enlightened ones in the sasana. That sasana, that dispensation will be void of arahants, no enlightenment. Friends, this is how we have to understand this process. Today is the last day for the retreat, last Dhamma talk. For this Dhamma talk, our topic is how to switch your jhanic experience into vipassana. How to switch jhanic experience to vipassana. The Buddha said, Samadhiṃ bhikkhave bhaveta. Samadhi is very important. Concentration is very important. Therefore, we have to develop concentration. When we develop concentration, we can switch this to insight. In this particular discourse, from the connected discourses of the Buddha, the Samadhi Sutta, Buddha said, Samadhiṃ bhikkhave bhaveta. Monks, develop samadhi. Samahito bhikkhu yatha bhutaṃ pajanāti. Yatha bhuta. What is yatha bhuta? Yatha bhuta means as they really are. When you develop samadhi, you can see things as they really are. Then the Buddha questioned, what can you see as they really are? You can see, he himself said, rupa, this form, the origination of form and the cessation of form, samudayancha atthagamancha. You can see the origination of form and the cessation of form. You can see the origination of feeling, the cessation of feeling. You can see perception, the origination of perception and the cessation of perception. You can see the origination of volitional formations and the cessation of volitional formations. You can see the origination of consciousness and the cessation of consciousness. What are these? These five aggregates. You can see, in brief, you can see these 5 aggregates as they really are. Then the Buddha questions, what is the origination of form? What is the origination of form? How it takes place? How it happens? Buddha said, 1, delights, abhinandati, delights this form. When you delight this form, you welcome it. Abhivadati, whether this form or that form, external, you see, what you see is called form. So this, either this one or that one, we delight. If we delight, then we say, oh, it's nice, wow, it's nice, like that. We express our willingness to grasp it. With that, what happens? We hold on to it. Where attachment arises. Attachment arises. We delight and attach to things. With attachment, what happens? With attachment, when there is attachment, dependent on attachment, existence comes to be. Upadana paccaya bhavo. Dependent on attachment, existence comes to be. When there is existence, what happens? Bhava paccaya jati. When there is existence, dependent on existence, birth comes to be. When there is birth, then dependent on birth, decay and death come to be. With decay and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair, all this whole mass of suffering, whole mass of dukkha comes to be. That is what is happening. Referring to form. Then referring to feeling the same. This is the origination. Buddha said this is the origination. The origination of what? Origination of dukkha. The origination of form is the origination of dukkha. Origination of feeling is the origination of dukkha. Origination of perception is the origination of dukkha. Then origination of volitional formations are the origination of dukkha. Then the origination of consciousness is the origination of dukkha. Then what is the cessation? How it takes place? If we do not delight, na abhinandati, Buddha said, na abhinandati, you do not delight. One does not delight in form, feeling, perception, volitional information and consciousness. One does not delight. If one does not delight, one does not welcome it. If one does not welcome, then one does not hold on to it. No attachment. If we have no attachment, no clinging, no attachment, no existence. No existence take place. If there is no existence, no birth. If there is no birth, no decay, no death, no sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and then whole mass of suffering come to cease. That is how the Buddha taught. In this particular discourse, the benefits of developing samadhi. That is why he said, Samadhim bhikkhave bhaveta. When you have samadhi, when you have developed samadhi, concentration, you can see this. That is why we need samadhi. That is why we need concentration or jhana. The purpose of this concentration is observe ourselves, understand ourselves properly. then we can concentrate, we can focus our mind to our own aggregates, these 5 aggregates. We have to observe our own nature. Then we can understand these things as they really are. When you see things as they really are, you can understand that things are not permanent. Things are ever changing. Things are without a self. This is the nature. Once the Buddha said, there are 4 types of development of samadhi. 4 types of samadhi. The first one is Dittha Dhamma Sukha Viharaya. Samadhi, that particular samadhi is for the benefit, for the happiness and happy living, dwelling here in this very world. That is for the happiness of this world. You can live happily when you have this samadhi, this type of samadhi. That is for the Dittha Dhamma Sukha, the happiness of this world. The second one is for the knowledge and vision. Knowledge and vision. Jnana Dassanaya, for the knowledge and vision. Third one, for mindfulness and clear comprehension. You develop this samadhi for your mindfulness and clear comprehension. Sati Sampajanyaya. Then the fourth one is for the complete eradication of taints. Asavanang Khayaya. Complete eradication of taints. These are 4 types of samadhi. So the first one, what is that samadhi? The Buddha said, if you develop first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and the fourth jhana, these 4 jhanas are developed for the happy living, happy dwelling here in this world. Even though you develop all the 4, if you do not use them, if you do not switch them into Vipassana, simply is good for this life. That is what thousands of people did even before the Buddha. They developed samadhi and it's peaceful. That's why peaceful. You peacefully dwell in here because you have 4 jhana. So jhanas are to be switched to insight. That is why the Buddha taught samadhi. That is why the Buddha taught jhana. So the first one is, if you develop these 4 jhanas, simply develop these 4 jhanas, you can live happily here in this world. The second one, when you develop your particular samadhi, which is called developing concentration based on light, aloka, perception of light, that is called aloka sanya, perception of light, then you can understand things properly. Knowledge, you have knowledge and vision. That is the second type of samadhi. Aloka sanya, light, perception of light. Then the third one is mindfulness and clear comprehension. These are very important to practice Vipassana. mindfulness and clear comprehension. Sati sampajanya. Sati is mindfulness. That is the awareness in the present moment. Moment to moment awareness in the present moment. Mindfulness. And clear comprehension means you clearly understand what is going on right now. In order to understand this, you have to understand when feelings arise. The Buddha said, when feelings arise, understand. You understand the arising nature of feelings. When they are arising, you know feelings arising. When they exist, you know that they are existing now. All these are now, right now. What is going on now? Now. Different status, different stages. Now like that. Insight. And when the feelings come to pass, you know that it is coming to pass. It's passing. So arising of feelings, persisting of feeling, and cessation of feeling. You know this. Then perception, arising of perception, existing of perception, and passing. Arising of thoughts, persisting, existing of thoughts, and the passing. You know this. That is awareness, moment to moment awareness, where you develop both mindful comprehension. Then the fourth type of samadhi is the samadhi to complete eradication of taints. What is to be done? Buddha said, understand the form. You understand the arising of form and passing of the form. This form aggregates. Understand arising of feeling and passing of feeling. Vanishing. Arising of perception and vanishing of perception. Arising of volitional formations and vanishing of volitional formations. Then arising of consciousness and vanishing of consciousness. With this, you can completely eradicate taints, asava. So these are 4 different types of development of samadhi. Again, in another discourse from numerical discourses, numerical chapter 5, Buddha said monks develop samadhi based on metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. You see, yesterday somebody asked whether there are some other objects for concentration. These are different objects for meditation to develop concentration. Buddha said, develop samadhi based on metta, love, goodwill, love and friendliness. Where you have to develop metta, first you generate metta within you. When you practice metta, you have to generate metta within you, and then you have to extend metta to all beings in your front direction, without discrimination, without any difference. You extend metta to all beings in your front direction. Then you extend metta to all beings in your back directions. Then the right directions. Just like light, the beam, like you use a flashlight. Your mental flashlight light is suffusing the back, the right and the left, and then upper directions and the lower direction. This is called immeasurable metta. Buddha said, develop immeasurable concentration based on metta. Then again you can extend metta to all beings in exalted method. That is to develop metta and extend metta to all beings here in this room, hall. Then practice extend metta to all beings in this center, in this state, in this country, in this world and the whole universe. That is called exalted methods. These two methods, when practice these two methods, you can develop your concentration. Samadhi. Then second one is karuna. Karuna means compassion, kindness. Karuna means kindness or compassion. Sometimes people use the term compassion to metta. Confused. Metta means goodwill, loving friendliness. Karuna means compassion. When we practice, metta arises within ourselves. It starts with us, with me. Karuna starts with others. Compassion, kindness arises when you see something wrong with a person or a being. Suppose a person is in trouble, even in front of you or in the other end of the world, even through the TV or internet, you can understand something going on, such as a disaster. Then you want to help them. That is not because of your metta, love and friendliness, but because of your karuna. So karuna itself is method. Karuna itself is a way to develop compassion, develop samadhi, concentration. With that, you can develop your concentration, samadhi. Karuna. Mudita, the third one is mudita. Mudita is appreciative joy. You appreciate others' happiness, others' success, others' prosperity. You appreciate it. Where you have no jealousy. Jealousy is the opposite of mudita, appreciative joy. Then the fourth one is equanimity. Equanimity, equanimous mind, the balanced mind. Balanced mind. Your mind is balanced. Equanimous mind. So these four, the Buddha said, develop samadhi based on these four sublime abodes. Those are called sublime abodes. Sublime living, divine living, Brahma Vihara. Brahma Vihara. When you develop these four concentrations, for samadhi, you yourself can experience, you yourself can realize 5 different things, the Buddha said. What are the 5 things you can realize by yourself? You yourself will understand, realize that this samadhi is blissful now and the future. That is the first realization. you yourself can realize this samadhi is blissful now and in the future. Secondly, you can realize this samadhi is noble and unworldly. Noble and unworldly. Third, you yourself can realize that this samadhi is obtained not by low persons. Not by low persons, mean persons, those who are doing unwholesome deed, but those who are practicing Dhamma, those who are nobles, those who are engaged in Dhamma can experience this. That is the third. Then you yourself can realize this samadhi is peaceful, excellent, and unified. That is the fourth experience, fourth realization. You realize by yourself. Finally, you can realize this samadhi. I entered this samadhi mindfully and I emerge from this samadhi mindfully. You yourself can realize that. I entered this samadhi mindfully and emerged from samadhi mindfully. These are 5 different realizations. You see, these experiences are not in the next world. Buddha's Dhamma is not for the next world. That is why it is said directly visible. This Dhamma is directly visible. You can experience this Dhamma here in this very world. Well expounded the Dhamma and directly visible Dhamma. Here in this very world you can experience these things. So how to switch to insight is to be understood now. When we have samadhi, whatever concentration, when the mind is concentrated, we have to switch to insight. No particular place to point out, this is the place where you have to switch to. Many people ask, Bhante, from where should we switch to insight? There is no switch to switch. No switch like switch this side to put it on or off. But when you concentrate yourself, when you observe the object at a time, you can understand. If you can understand, this itself is changing. That is the place. This itself is changing. Otherwise you think it is permanent. As long as you think that it is permanent, you are in delusion. You are in avijja, delusion, moha. You have no proper developed concentration. In order to understand that, you have to develop 3 different factors. What are the 3 different factors? Mindfulness, clear comprehension, and wisdom. These 3. Vipassana, passati, to see. Passana or passati means see, mere seen. But it is with the prefix vi to cut through, vi to see through, vi to penetrate, That is the penetration. Vipassana. When you see through, what can you see? You can see three characteristics of existence. Things are impermanent, things are unsatisfactory, things are without a self. That is called Vipassana. There are two definitions in the Buddhist literature. Vividena passati vipassana and visesena passati vipassana. Vivida means vividly, categorically. You see things categorically, vividly. That is vipassana. And the second one is visesena passati. Visesha is specially. You see specially. Something special. What is that special? You see the three characteristics of existence. Anicca, dukkha and anatta. The Buddha taught Vipassana in his meditation technique. That is objective observation. Buddha's technique of meditation is objective observation. You have to observe things objectively, not subjectively. Objectively, when you see things objectively, you don't grasp things as mine, me, myself. When it is subjective, you think, oh, this is mine, me, myself. So the whole teaching is not to grasp as mine, me, or myself, but to understand as not mine, not me, not myself. Once the Buddha said, monks, what is not yours, give it up, abandon. Abandon what is not yours. What is not yours? This form is not mine. Feeling is not mine. Perception is not mine. Volitional formations are not mine. Consciousness is not mine. All these are not mine. These five aggregates are not mine. These six senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, all these six senses are not mine. What is not mine is not me, not I am. What is not mine, not me, is not myself. In such a way, we have to give up things, abandon things. Abandon what is not yours. Na tumhaka sutta. What is not yours. This objective observation, in order to teach this objective observation, Buddha taught us the technique of meditation. That is Satipatthana meditation. Satipatthana. Establishment of mindfulness. Where he taught us the tandem meditation, samatha vipassana meditation in Satipatthana Sutta. We talk about little bit about this, as yesterday somebody has asked the overview of Satipatthana. Satipatthana, mindfulness, establishment of mindfulness. That is the objective observation. All things are to be observed objectively. Where the Buddha said, observe your breath objectively. No, my breath. We have to observe breath as breath. In order to concentrate, in order to see the change in nature of breath, we have to observe our breath objectively. When we practice postures, 4 postures, whatever we do, we have only 4 postures. Walk in, go in, sit in, stand in, and lying down. These 4 postures are to be seen objectively. Then clear comprehension. Whatever we do, you have to observe things objectively. These 32 parts of the body are to be observed objectively. Some people don't like to see these 32 parts, thinking that they are repulsive. Oh, what? Repulsive? Loathsome? They don't like. But we don't observe this as repulsive, but we have to understand, we have to observe it as it is. When you observe it, if it is repulsive, what should you do? Accept it repulsive. If it is repulsive, you yourself can see. If it is repulsive, understand as repulsive. But since it is not yours, you don't want to worry. Simply understand as it is repulsive. Repulsive nature is to be understood as it is. These head hairs, body hairs, nails, teeth, then skin, all these different parts are to be understood. As long as they are with us, within us, we appreciate. We try to clean them, we try to comb hairs nicely, we try to brush teeth, and all these things. Clean within here. Once dropped, once gone, suppose hairs, head hairs, even one, if you see in your rice, plate of rice, in the soup, if you see one hair in the soup, you don't like to drink it. But your own hair, why not drink? Suppose a nail in the soup. Once one venerable, in the time of the Buddha, one venerable, he got a piece of finger in his meal, in his bowl. Somebody's finger, it's not his own. But he had to take his meal. He did not take the finger. Like that. So, we have to understand this 32 parts. It's a very powerful meditation. Try to see this subjectively. Understand this is not mine. Say, for instance, head hairs. This head hair is not mine. You have to understand this is not mine. That is the first thing to be understood. This is not mine. They're not me. Not myself. This is repulsive. This is repulsive. We have to understand that also. Then you have to understand this is impure. This is impure. You have to understand that nature. And this is smelly. You have to understand that. Then you can understand this is impermanent, unsatisfactory, without a self. Like that, you have to understand all these, give attention to all the 32 different parts and practice. It's a very powerful meditation, both serenity and insight. samatha and vipassana. You can develop both together. So like this, when you understand the 32 parts, that itself is objectively observation, objective observation. Then the Buddha said, observe these aggregates and understand 4 elements objectively. Then said, observe, understand the 9 different stages of a corpse. All these are to be understood objectively. And then feeling. When we have feeling, we think that, oh my knee, how can I practice? Knee, my knee. But the instruction is observe it objectively. Whatever feeling, whatever sensation. And then the mental, your thoughts, mind. Mind is not mine. This mind is not mine, not me, not myself. That is how we to understand mind. When the mind is distracted, it is to be understood as a distracted mind. When the mind is contracted, it is to be understood as a contracted mind. When the mind is affected by lust, it is to be understood as affected by lust. Like that, different stages, different states of mind. Then finally, you can understand these 5 aggregates, 12 bases. Then you can develop enlightenment factors, and finally come to the realization of the 4 noble truths. That is what is called objective observation. All these are to be understood objectively, not as mine. That is called satipatthana meditation. That is the technique of meditation. When we practice this satipatthana, this objective observation, we have to understand these 5 aggregates. Buddha's whole teaching is based on these 5 aggregates. Buddha said, the world, the origination of the world, the cessation of the world, and the path leading to the cessation of the world is here within. The world is within. The Buddha's instruction is to observe, understand this world first. If you understand this world first, then you can understand the external world as well. How to apply concentration, samadhi, to these 5 aggregates? 5 aggregates. These 5 aggregates are to be understood. When we have good concentration, we observe this form. This form. What is the nature of this form? How this form come to be? How it comes to be is to be understood. There's a particular discourse where the Buddha said, Upadana parivatta sutta. Parivatta. Upadana parivatta. Upadana means aggregates. We have 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates of clinging. Upadana, clinging. Affected by clinging. Ours 5 aggregates are affected by clinging, whereas the enlightened ones' aggregates are simply aggregates. No clinging, no attachment. They do not attach to these 5 aggregates. In our case, we attach to these five aggregates. That is why it is called clinging, affected by clinging. The Buddha said, observe these five aggregates, observe this form and understand parivatta. What is parivatta? Parivatta means circles, rounds. There are 4 rounds to be understood. 4 different rounds to be understood, referring to the aggregates. Take, for instance, the first one, form. Form is to be understood. It is a cycle. Form is to be understood. Then the origination of form is to be understood. The second cycle, second parivatta. Then the form is to be understood. The origination of form is to be understood. Then the cessation of form is to be understood as the third cycle. And the fourth one is the path leading to the cessation of form is to be understood. Then he explained what is form. What do you call form? Form means 4 elements: earth, water, fire, air. Or they are derivatives. These are called form. So these 4 elements are to be understood as form. Then what is the origination of form? With the arising of nutriment, form come to arise. It is with the origination of nutriment, ahara. They said ahara samudaya, rupa samudayo. Origination of nutriment is the origination of form. Then what is the cessation? Cessation of nutriment is the cessation of form. Then what is the path leading to the cessation of form? It is the one path. The Buddha taught us only one path. That is the Noble Eightfold Path. So those are the 4 cycles to be understood. 4 rounds to be understood. Parivatta. Upadana Parivatta Sutta. Then referring to feeling. You see, these are the things to be understood here. When we meditate, we have to concentrate and we have to understand these things here within. This is the workplace. This is the workplace. Not outside there. However much you study things outside, externally, even the other planets, no point. One day you will die as a very worldly person, clinging to the other planets sometimes. Other planets. You cling to other planets. Then what happened? Next, you will be born in animal realms, like a big dog, or a cow, or a snake, or a hungry ghost, or down in a hell. Why? Clinging. You have a lot of things in your mind. Pleasures. You throughout the life you strive to enjoy your life. Eventually, nothing enjoyed. Nothing. But if you observe the nature of these 5 aggregates, you can understand things are changing. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. If you can close your eyes with that understanding, Buddha said, even on your deathbed, you can enter the path as a stream enterer. or you might be able to come to the second stage as a once-returner or non-returner, or even you can attain enlightenment on your deathbed, before your death. This is the wonder. Because you have no clinging to the external things, external world. You do not cling to your daughter, your son, your husband, your wife, your things at home. You are here. This is why we want to practice. This is why we want to practice. Then, referring to feelings, we have to understand that there are 6 types of feeling. 6 types of feelings. Feeling arises in the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. Feeling arises because of contact. That is the origination of feeling. Then the cessation of feeling is the cessation of contact. The path leading to the cessation of feeling is the Noble Eightfold Path. Then perception. Perception arises because of contact. Perception itself is sixfold. Perception arises because of contact. And the cessation of perception is the cessation of contact. The path leading to the cessation is the same, Noble Eightfold Path. And then volitional formations. Volitional formations are also sixfold through the 6 senses. Based on 6 senses, volitional formations come to be. The origination of volitional formation is contact. You see, feeling, perception and volitional formation, all the 3 come to be because of contact. That is the most important place to understand. If we are mindful enough when things come to contact, contact means 3 things come together. If we are mindful at that time, then we can switch to the right path. So the volitional formations, they come to be because of contact and come to cease with the cessation of contact. The path leading to the cessation of volitional formations is the Noble Eightfold Path. And the consciousness. Consciousness arises what? Arises because of what? No. Very good. It's come to be because of Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa Pacchaya Vijnanam. Vijnana Pacchaya Nama Rupam. What is Nama Rupa? That is physicality and mentality. What do you mean by mentality? Mentality means feeling, perception, volitional formation, contact and attention. These 5 are called Nama or mentality. Then Rupa, earth, water, fire, air. These 4 or their derivatives are called Rupa. Both these are called Nama Rupa. They are always together. They are together with consciousness, Vijnana. Then like this, a cycle is formed. That is called sansaric cycle. It is because of this cycle we are born again and again in samsara. One day we have to cut off this cycle. The Buddha said, those who understand, those who have realized these 5 aggregates as they are, they have no such cycle, no circle The Buddha said, Vattang tesang natti panyapanaya. Them, as they have well liberated, they are liberated, suvimutta. They have well liberated, suvimutta. Such beings, such persons have no cycle to be pointed out. Vattang tesang natti panyapanaya. To be pointed out. For them, there is no vatta, no cycle, no physicality and mentality, and no consciousness. Consciousness is completely free from all impurities. Even this physicality and mentality are impurities. Those are to be cleansed, and finally what is remaining is consciousness. It is a clear consciousness. It is a luminous consciousness. It is luminosity. Luminosity is all over. That is the consciousness of the Arahant. That consciousness has no impurities, no craving, where there is no earth, no water, no fire, no good, no bad, no physicality, no mentality. Therefore, it is called featureless consciousness. Anidassana vijnana. Vijnanam anidassanam. The Buddha said, Vijnanam anidassanam. It is featureless consciousness. Anantang, it is infinite. Sabbato pabhang. It is luminous all over. Sabbato pabhang. That consciousness. Once the enlightened ones, after his death, this consciousness will never be reborn. No place to hook, no place to be born. That is the complete cessation of all things, physicality and mentality. Friends, this is how the Buddha has taught us the significance of practicing samatha, samadhi, jhana. Whenever possible, we have to switch this to insight. If you would like to read how to switch first jhana to vipassana, second jhana to vipassana, the third jhana to vipassana, fourth jhana to vipassana, and the immaterial first infinite space into vipassana, infinite of consciousness into vipassana, and nothingness to vipassana. If you want to read this, please read the discourse Maha Malunkya Putta Sutta from Majjhima Nikaya, Middle Length Sayings. Maha Malunkya Putta Sutta, where Buddha explained one by one. So we have no time to explain all this now. Since time is limited, let's understand this wonderful teaching, and let's read this teaching again and again. Original teachings, please read again and again the original discourses and practice accordingly, so that we can live happily, peacefully here in this world, and one day we can close our eyes peacefully. That is the things to be done. And as we all got together, we all practiced throughout these days, even though I was not here for a couple of days, as I was in Canada, leading some retreats and giving talks for 2 weeks. So I was entrusted to give talks and lead this retreat these 2 days. So I understood that you all practice very well. I appreciate it very much, and I wish you the success of your spiritual journey. And as we all practice together, we all got this wonderful opportunity. Now let's all practice further, and by practicing this, by realizing Dhamma, may we all attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.